Welcome back to episode 3 of the Asari, you beautiful people. Starting this episode off, we need to start looking into building some actual defenses. So I'm thinking this stuff here, this sand, is very difficult to build on. There's only a few things we can build on it and we won't be able to build reinforced walls. But what we can do is we can still put down steel embrasures and prefab walls, which for the moment might work out quite well. So we're going to need to wall across here, so that we can just start funneling everything into a kill zone, and then we'll start building the defensive lines along here. What I'm thinking is dual heavy autocannons, slightly offset from themselves so they're staggered, which means they're going to be able to shoot down here in case anything comes into that section, and also be able to shoot some stuff coming along here. Then if we have the same on that side, these areas here, when people start pushing up, they are going to get absolutely sprayed down. Then a whole bunch of military turrets spread out just to try to take some firepower. So maybe dug into this section, some in here, some in there. And what this means is, say when centipedes or things with explosives come along, they are going to aim for the closest targets, which will be the mini turrets, which will save the auto cannons, which I think is going to work really well. And then also with the Mass Effect mod, we have the chance to get some big beefy Mass Effect cannons as well, so some mass drivers, so mass acceleration down here. That is going to be super useful. The research for that sort of stuff is quite expensive, but all we need now is the Alliance terminal, and we can start working on Alliance weaponry. Once we have the Alliance weaponry, we're going to be able to start kicking out our own AP thermal clips and standard thermal clips as well, and start moving into some actual Mass Effect technology, which is going to be super useful for us. And another nice thing is we can also get the railgun. These things are crazy powerful and more than capable of smashing up a centipede or anything big, beefy and dangerous like that. We also have a couple names for the Asari, so Linella, which I'm always struggling to say, we are going to change you across to Terra. So that is one down. And then Nixan Dia, yeah, you got a cool helmet, and we'll change you across to GNU. Interesting Asari names, but they were recommended names, so we are going to put them in. If you want to name anyone else, let me know. The only one that is not up for grabs is Liara, just because that is needed for the fluff of this series. And to be expected, the Blue Suns are coming in once again. These guys just love raiding us at the moment. And they are in some decent kit. So we got one light. It looks like we got a heavy here, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's just standard Alliance, and the rest of them are in standard Alliance as well. Cool. If we can knock them down, which we seem to be able to do quite well, then we can strip them of their kit, and that kit is worth a fortune. Now, we have been working on getting shield belts, so we got one masterwork one here, a normal quality one. Do you want to reload that? Drop that gun and reload up. Then you don't have a shield belt, you have an awful shield belt, you have an awful shield belt, and you have a masterwork one. So we are just waiting on one more shield belt, and then that should be pretty much everyone in shield belts. Shield belts are super important. This Mass Effect armor is nowhere near as good as the Mass Effect guns, so any of these guns can basically just shoot straight through the armor. Something to keep in mind. Now we're going to go along here. We should be able to get through a dead screen. They come around the corner, we drop down to singularity, get them pinned in, and then we just blast them with everything. And GNU, do you not have any ammo? No, you do. Okay, we'll see what happens in a second. We're also using thermal rounds as well, and these thermal rounds have decent armor penetration, but also catch things on fire. So that's one on fire there. Delioi, he got caught on fire. He'll be down in a second as well. Yep, so if we move in somewhat quickly, we should be able to go and strip that armor off. And what do we have? We've got Defense Matrix, Tactical Cloak, Sabotage, and Overload. I think we pretty much just go in for it. Drop down to Singularity when we get around the corner, which will be on one of these guys. First chance we get, drop that there. That takes those two out of the fight. If we come along a little bit further, then we can drop another one here. Are they going to get pulled in? Nope. Well, it looks like they might be, but they're just glitching a bit at the moment. Okay, Benzia, I need you to strip him down. You guys keep moving up. This one's down as well, so strip him. Actually strip both of them. And yet again, that is a whole bunch more kit that we are going to be able to sell off. And Benzir, do you want to carry on with this for us? That would be beautiful. Awesome. A whole bunch more ammo and some more armor sets as well. This is quite interesting for us though. So, Delioi is pretty beaten up, 18 conditions, needs tending. But he has a Omni Tool level 1 installed into him. So we're sending Liara up. Liara's going to capture him. We're going to bring him back to our disgusting prisoner room at the moment because the insects came in there. And we're going to see if we can operate and then steal that Omni Tool and give it to someone else. Because Omni Tools are worth a decent amount. So we could sell it for a bunch of money. Or, even better, give it to one of our guys. Which would be awesome. Unfortunately, we do not have the technology level yet to be able to remove the Omni Tool. So what I am thinking, just double checking, yeah, we're going to see if we can get him back up to health, and then what we're going to do is we are going to release him, and hopefully that makes the Blue Suns like us a little bit more. He does have a bunch of infections, and we just don't want that sort of drain on our medical supplies. Other side is he is not Asari, so therefore we don't want him joining the colony anyway. This is a super expensive bit of kit, but we have found a cloth nanosuit, which is absolutely amazing. So plus 30% to global work speed, medical success chance plus 15%, medical operation speed plus 25, medical tend quality and speed 15 and 50, food poisoning chance minus 25%, cooking speed 0.3, butchering speed plus 15, weapon handling plus 2 point. You get the idea. It is a very good bit of kit. Now the best bit is movement speed of plus 3 and carry capacity of 150, which is awesome. However, super duper expensive at 8,508. Now we're selling off all of that kit that we just got from the Blue Suns, which doesn't quite net us enough to turn this into a profit, but these nanosuits are super rare and actually insanely powerful. This is something that's definitely worth that price tag. So we're going to pick one of them up, and what we'll do is we'll give it to Benzir, just for the simple fact that she is our main medical. So if she can go around and do more medical stuff more quickly, then that is going to be better for us. She's not our main fighter, but she's also in heavy armor, which is going to kill her speed. But the bonus to the speed, then also the medical tend and all of those fun things, that is going to seriously be worth it. Blue Sun's definitely not messing around, and they are back on it again. We either need to expand the size of our colony, or we are going to need some better defensive positions, or we are going to be cooked super soon. Now they do have a low-key mech coming in. Now low-key mechs, once you break them down into their component parts, you get like 4 advanced components for them. So this is a very nice delivery system of plasteel and advanced components, which we are a-okay with. Not even mad about that. There is quite a few of them this time, so it might be a little bit of a challenge, and they're coming in for a siege. These artillery pieces, unfortunately, we cannot do anything with, otherwise we would definitely steal it and put it into our base. But having a decent amount of 81mm mortar shells is not bad at all. Thinking the best strategy we're going to have is to come around the corner into this bit, and then try to pick these guys off one at a time. In a straight up fight, it will just be a flip of the dice. Their kit is pretty much the same as ours, so we are going to have to be a little bit tactical about this. How tactical are we going to be? Probably not super tactical, because I am not crazily tactical as a player. Loki Mech's going to wander up that way, but I don't think we have too much to worry about it doing much. And it is on fire, and it is down. They are not crazy tough, thankfully. Now let's see if we can't set our guys into some sort of defense. I'm going to want you up there because you have an SMG, and so do you, so we want a clear line of fire. Benzir, you're going to go there. Liara, you come here. Canute, you're on Overwatch, and who does that leave? Kalazan. You've got long range rifle as well, so you're going to pull back. You guys were in cover, but yeah, just jump out into the open, why not? Okay, Liara, as soon as you're there, strip him down. Canute, did you get anything? It looks it. Cool, we're only going to need to get a couple more, and then this is ours. Those shield belts are making a massive difference. So the only person without a shield belt is the only one that really got any damage. Cool. They're going that way, so I think... What's the range on our Singularity? We can pull him in. Cool, so he's out the fight. I'm going to get you to run across. Very bad idea, but something that we need to be done. Two of them caught in there now. Those guys got a line on that. Gnu, you're going to move down. Kalazan, you're going to move to here. One of them's on fire. Okay, Nixan. Let's get another Bionic Singularity. Okay, you're not going to have a line on it. Let's actually go Bionic Pull. Ah, that's out of range. Let's go Singularity and then pull them this way a little bit. And then more people should be able to shoot them. We need to move to here again. You need a line of fire, buddy. Cool, they're starting to flee. We'll let them run away. We'll just intercept this last one. And then see if we cannot get any more suits of armor. Asaris are super easily suppressed. Quite surprised by that. Okay, strip there. You guys keep going. And Liara, you strip this one. Unfortunately, Nixan has now got an infection. It's a major infection, but the infection is 35 to 64, which is fine. But she did get her eye shot out, so mangled scar and permanent gunshot. So that's going to lower her consciousness. So that is... It should mess up her sight. Yeah, so her sight's down to 80%. Less than ideal, but we will be working on bionics pretty soon. As of the moment, we're on prefab geothermal power, and then we're going into element 0. We need to get element 0 production up pretty early on, just because it takes so long to get going. Now, because we're starting to miss body parts, let's get onto some bionics as well, and then into neuroscience and synthetic organs. If we can get that neuroscience up, we should be able to remove the Omni Tools from the Blue Suns when we take them down. We do need to pick up about 200 plasteel because we just got our mechanoid power cell. And with that mechanoid power cell, we are going to be able to produce a whole bunch of power. So that's what I've been researching, and thankfully it can be built on light terrain, which is super useful. We would like it in the base, but with the bugs running around, I think that might be pretty dangerous. Unless we put it here, and then we expand out, so we can start getting rid of the batteries and then putting the power cells in instead. We need to come down a little bit as well. That's going to take a whole bunch of rearranging. So let's just drop it there for the moment, and then get some prefab steel walls and wall this in. We sold off all of the armor that came from the other raid, and yet again it was about 7,000 we got for it. So what we are taking away is each time we get attacked by the Blue Suns, we can make a few thousand profit, which is quite nice. Issue with it though is that is going to put our wealth up like crazy. So we're going to go up in wealth very, very quickly, which means raids are going to come in and they're going to get bigger. And as these raids become bigger, they are going to be harder to get the corpses and then strip them down. So we're going to get less as this game goes on. But for the moment, we are doing quite well off it, that we cannot complain too much. Seeing as we're starting to move along quite nicely, we are putting in a machining table. The machining table is going to help break down those mechanoids. And we need these Loki mechs broken down so we can take those advanced components. And with those advanced components, we can get the Alliance Terminal. And with the Alliance Terminal, we are then going to be able to research the Alliance weapons and ammo, which is going to be super sweet for us, which is super important. And because we're going to start transitioning over into building the military turrets real soon, we need a loading bench so we can make the 5.56 rounds. With the 5.56, we will be going with the armor piercing rounds. So we get 500 rounds for 14 steel, which is a very good trade. So we're going to do until X. And we want to make sure that we have about 4,000 in storage. The military turrets will be able to hold 200 rounds apiece. So it doesn't take much of a firefight for the ammo to run out. And also means we're going to be able to reload them quickly. And if we can reload them quickly, if we get attacked straight after, we should be in a decent situation to hold out. We'll begin to wall this area off along here. With this walled off, yet again, it does the thing that we've been talking about where it forces everything through into this section. And as we are getting to that point and we have the ammo production up and going, we're going to get some military turrets and we are going to start placing them into here. The way that we're going to do this is we're going to use steel embrasures, And then we're going to put a wall in between, so if one of them gets hit by a rocket or explodes, it's not going to take the next one out. If a rocket lands here, it will take them out, but right now it should keep them fairly safe for a while. Slight update to the design. They will be able to shoot pretty much unhindered. So they can shoot down, they can support each other, but they can't shoot over themselves. Which is really useful because turrets have a habit of killing themselves off when they can shoot over. So we're going to mine in through the back. Then we're going to have these sections here. They're going to have the doors in. So with those doors, if anything goes in and takes this section out, it's not going to take the others. And also if sappers get in behind, they are going to have a bad time trying to wipe the turrets out. And then turrets are going to have an awesome field of fire. As for their range, we can't see it right now. Maybe if we go into security and have a little look-see. Yep, they are going to be able to cover this section here. Then we're going to put some others on that side. And this is just going to give us a whole bunch of extra defense, which I'm looking forward to. So if we get caught out or something goes wrong, at least we are going to be able to defend ourselves. And then we're also going to need to start looking into getting some rat runs, so maybe up here. And then I think one in the corner, hence why it's got the dog leg, so we can make a little strong point here. Then we're also going to need one across here, and then one in each of these corners. With those, we're going to be able to move around the map super quick, and if sappers try to go through them, they are going to have a super bad time. Bulk's good trader from the Krogan Castaways came in. They don't really have anything we want. Prison camp, opportunity, not something that we're interested in. And then help wanted. Yeah, again, we're not too interested in growing some crops because we are struggling with our own. As what do we have? We have 16 rice stored, which isn't a massive amount. And this looks more like a proper raid. Now, they don't have the great guns, but he still has a halberd, which is more than enough to punch through our armor. And then he also has a 50 cal anti-material rifle, which pretty dangerous. So there's that. So there's 2 guns we can guarantee will punch through our armor. He also has a charge rifle, which is super dangerous. And then what's that? 306? Yeah, 30 odd 6, which will be able to cause us a bunch of problems. Now, this is nearly walled off. Depending on how long they take to come round, this section might be done in time. Turrets are in. All we need to do is put some power lines in. We're going to be running across the front here, because I think we're going to start walling this section in, and then we're going to have to start expanding up to the top. But we got a lot going on, and let's see how this raid does and see if our defences are in place in time. Managed to get close to getting the defences done, but not quite. They're moving down now. You are probably on like, yeah, go Juice, so you're super quick. Thankfully you've only got a shield, and if we can just get around this corner, we should be pretty sweet, because they're going to be forced in single file. If they're single file, they're going to be easy to take down. And oh yeah, we need to turn Bionic pull off, and we also have our singularity ready for when everything goes a bit peaked up. So yeah, bad time to be you guys. They did manage to crack out a, whatchamacallit, small shield, low shield. So let's put down a overload there, see if we can't take that out. Do you have an incinerate? No. Does anyone have anything particularly dangerous? We've got bionic flare. I don't think that is going to be super useful right now. Let's get another singularity in, just in case that one goes down. We're going to have some defense. And it turns out the frame rate did not like that at all. Cool. Balzir, nope. Who's got it? Okay, you do, Kelzan. Hopefully that comes back on. Okay, so in another 8 seconds, then we should be able to get that one out. And yeah, Bionic Singularity, super, super powerful. Fantastic, not even mad about that. Let's go strip these guys down, take their kit, and then get back to work. So from those Loki mechs, we broke 2 of them down. We got 78 plasteel, 8 advanced components, and 68 steel, which is not bad. So as the Blue Suns and the Eclipse start attacking us, and their attacks get bigger, we are going to get so much components from them, which is really good. Also going to break down the batteries, because they are now more of a detriment than what they're worth, because they are fully charged, and fully charged batteries have a tendency to explode. And they love to explode when one of your pawns is next to it, so you can say goodbye to them. What we will be able to do then is move this power cell down into this section. We just need to expand the wall out by 1, and then drop this wall, probably reinforce it. And what that means is there's going to be no space, and if there's no space, bugs can't come in underneath it. Which for us will work really well. Power supply will be nice and safe in the heart of the base, nothing will be able to land on it, and then bugs can't spawn underneath it and try to take it out, which for us would be awesome, because one of these is about 5,000 resources. Not cheap, but definitely worth it. Just realised we use steel embrasures, which would have been utterly pointless. Steel's super expensive to use, and it's not particularly tough. So we are changing these across to granite. This will give us about an extra 200 odd hit points. So 510 versus 300. So yeah, about 200 odd hit points extra, which for us is pretty good. We are also going to expand this section here. So that's now an embrasure instead, because sometimes I have a bit of issue shooting across. But then that won't make a massive difference because that prefab steel wall's there. Anyway, we got some extra steel back from it, so I'm not even mad. And the prefab geothermal plant is ready. This isn't going to be cheap, but it produces a crazy amount of power. I think like 6,800 if I'm not mistaken. We'll acquire 140 plasteel, 6 advanced components and 12 prefab components, which we are going to be a-okay with. That's going to be super worth it. And a whole bunch of tribals coming in. How many tribals is this? 30 odd tribals. Now tribals love sapping. That's like their only redeeming feature in Combat Extended. So they're probably just going to come up to this wall here and then try to come through. We'll keep an eye. This wall won't buy us much time. But actually, that being said, 500 on a steel prefab wall is pretty decent. That's only a little bit lower than building a granite wall. We'll see where they go, and then we'll just move our team well to where the choke point's going to be, because we're only going to come through in one section, and then gun them down. If it all goes a bit peaked on, singularity time. And it's looking like most of the tribals are just going to come around the bottom of the base. Unfortunately, the power line's not in, otherwise our turrets will be able to offer us some defense. We're going to move across this way, and we have one guy igniting the prefab wall. Of course you are. Why would you not be doing that? Okay, guys are nearly in position, which, you know, tribals being out in the open, they don't do very well against space attack weapons. Now they are spreading out, so our singularities aren't going to work too well, but they're going to keep getting suppressed, and as they keep getting suppressed, they're going to keep running back. As they run back, they're going to be easier to shoot, and we have a bunch of them over here. So singularity to there, if you would kindly. Terra, I'm going to need you to use your Bionic Flare, and to be fair, everything in that section is pretty much wiped out. Let's chuck it up here and see what it does against tribals. Okay, knocks a lot of them out. Awesome. They can't penetrate our armor really unless they get in close. Do have a little bit of a fire over there, but everyone else is pretty much done. I would say that went quite well. And he's also got a feral scattergun. That's pretty class. I like that. Called in a combat supplier so we could shift some of the stuff that the last raid and the tribals sent for us. So we got 2,124. Now there is an N7 excellent suit of armor here, which gives us 23.4mm of armor, which is not bad at all. Then gives us some pretty nice weapon handling, movement, mental break, pain, reload speed, suppressibility, bulk carry of 66 and a carry weight of 21, which is not bad at all. That is very good. Now normally I'd buy that in a flash, however if we go up this way, they do have a Black Widow normal quality. Very similar to the Widow, doesn't have quite as good range, but has a quicker reload speed, better sight accuracy, similar spread and better weapon sway as well. But ammo consumed per shot is 10, but it has a clip capacity of 30, so it gets 3 shots out of each clip. And I'm thinking that might be worth picking up. It is 3,790. We are not going to come across these randomly in the game. Actually, let's check out what the Widow does. Ammo consumed per shot is 10, and then has a magazine capacity of 10. So the Black Widow will get 3 shots off before having to reload, which I think might work pretty well, and also has a quicker rate of fire. Let's go pick the Black Widow up, then we'll sell off the normal Widow. And let's have a play around with that. Let's see how that does. So we'll give the Black Widow to GNU, seeing as he's already got one of the Widows. Drop that one, and yeah, he's going to get 3 shots out of it. Now its armor penetration and the way the rounds work is pretty much exactly the same as on the other one. So we don't need to worry too much about that, but it is just going to be a fantastic little powerhouse for us. All the power is connected across here, so these turrets are now online. They just need loading up, so we'll get on that just shortly. And then I'm thinking what we do with this section is we keep this back part in here as long as we can. Take this front section off and then put another set of turrets. So they'll be facing that way and then up, or just facing up. So they'll have to come around the corner here, and then as they come into contact, then the turrets would open. So another section that we got over there, like here. So they'll be getting shot from one side, shot from behind, shot from the other, which is going to confuse centipedes like mad. So they are basically will move in, always be in range of the big turrets, so the big turrets are going to be peppering them, and then they'll be focusing on the smaller ones. Also means if tribals come in, they are going to have a super bad time. As this is going to take a very long time to do, we are putting in subsurface conduits now. We don't want the mystical shaming, and we're not too interested. So we get these subsurface conduits in. They are not super expensive. They're about 3 steel a pop, but they take a long time to make. But they are essentially indestructible, so they can't be taken out by enemy fire. We are going to start running these other installations and the power points off subsurface conduits. We need to get the subsurface conduits in before we can put the rest of the construction in, but it means we don't have to worry about power because it can't be taken out. If we're running a hard cable down here, all it would take is a lucky shot to take it out, or if we're running across the bottom, yet again sometimes things shoot them. And turrets don't do very well when they have no power to back them. Just had a thought, we have mined out all the steel here, and that seems like a pretty perfect template just to take that one and put it into here. I would prefer to have battle tested it to see how well it works, but I got a feeling that this is going to work quite nicely. We are going to keep them separate, just in case one of them gets breached, they can't get into the next one. And I'm thinking on this one, we put a back wall in. Is it really necessary? Probably not, but we might as well do it seeing as we have the resources, and it's just going to get our guys' constructions up as well. Take these sections here out, and then we now have a second hard point. And all we need to do is copy that door, and I think we drop it in there, and that looks like a good little place to have it. We'll need to remove this section here, and then also chuck another wall there. And because this is going to be flaring back a little bit, they won't be able to use that cover to shoot at our big cannons once they go up. A little ways away, but it is something to think about when designing this section. Take those out, and this turret here is going to have a very nice line of fire down. Interesting, we do have an infestation coming in right into where our turrets are. Just throwing it out there, that is less than ideal. Let's get everyone down here. These ones look like they're going to spawn in front. Thankfully there is no room for them to spawn in where these turrets are. Because of that, those turrets should be fine. They will start trying to chew through the doors and the walls pretty soon. But if we can get Kelzan, because you're brave, keep this door open, we can draw them out into our firing line. And seeing as we're against bugs, there is no point trying to get in close against them. But what there is a point of is singularities. And this should buy us a whole bunch of time. Potentially, he says. I know that seems to be going okay. Okay, Kelzan did just get a face full of SMG. Terror, get your singularity down as well. And try to keep everyone alive. You guys move this way, you guys move that way. Kite back, and we should be good. Right, yeah. Bugs dealt with fairly quickly. No damage to the turrets, which is obviously a good thing as well. Nixan, you got an SMG, you get in there, cause some damage. And Terra, going to need you down here as well, taking those out. You guys move this way so you don't accidentally shoot each other in the back. I'd appreciate it if you didn't. And I'm actually going to put you guys on hold fire. Awesome. Time to get to work. Did just have a slave trader come in, so let's see if they've got anything for us. So they got Taurians, Brutarians, Quarians and humans, which are absolutely no use to us. We'll sell them the insect meat, and we'll sell them the insect jelly as well. Do you have anything that we are going to want? It's not looking like it, but we can sell you some more garbage and a whole bunch of garbage weapons, which should net us a little bit of monies. Fine, 2,215. Don't mind that at all. And all the power is now connected. Turrets are loaded. So we now have 2 hard points built in, which I think is pretty good going. That is not bad. That's going to offer a lot of protection and buy us a whole bunch of time. We'll need to start working on defenses for the actual colonists instead of just gunlining everything down, because pretty soon that is not going to be a viable option. Geothermal is in, batteries have been taken out, mechanoid power cell has been put in, and we're going to start transitioning out of the prefab solar collectors. And with that, I think that's a good place to wrap up the episode. So thank you very much for watching episode 3 of the Asari. I'll be Konzi. All your likes, comments, sub support have been amazing. You know what you need to do for the algorithm. You guys are awesome, and I'll catch you on the next one.